Hello, welcome back. We're going to be reviewing and learning how to solve multiple step equations in algebra. So we're going to be using a lot of what we've already done, which is simplifying expressions, involving multiplication and division. We're going to be using all of those concepts to solve equations. We'll start with some simpler equations, but as we go and move on, they will get more and more and more complicated, but the overarching idea is exactly the same. We're just trying to collect the variable on one side of the equal sign and move everything else over to the other side of the equal sign. And we're just going to do that by learning by working lots and lots of problems. So let's start with, I think, what's a pretty easy one. Let's say we have 3x minus 4 equals 5. All right, so we want to get x by himself, but he's wrapped up in a multiplication here. So the first thing you need to do is take anything added or subtracted to this term, which in this case is the negative 4, and you move him over here. Now, as you already know from basic algebra, you can do anything you want to an equation as far as adding or subtracting or multiplying or dividing or whatever, as long as you do it to both sides, because then the equation's still balanced. It's like a seesaw, It's like if you unbalance it, it comes and does this, but if you do the same thing to both sides, then it stays balanced, it stays equivalent. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to add 4 to both sides. So on the left, when we add 4 here, we're just going to have 3x left over, because when we add 4 to that, we're going to get 0. But if we add 4 here, then on the right-hand side, we'll also have to add 4. So what we're going to get is 9 on the right-hand side just by adding 4. Effectively, you just moved them to the right-hand side, making it 5 plus 4 right here. Now, in order to do the next step, let me rewrite it. You have 3x equals 9. And you want to get x by itself, so you have to do the opposite. In this case, we were doing a subtracting of a 4 here, so we did the opposite thing, which is adding 4, in order to kill it and move them to the right. Here, we're multiplying by 3, so in order to get rid of the 3, we do the opposite, which means we divide by 3, and if we do it to the left, we have to also do it to the right. But since we've divided by 3, 3 divided by 3 is 1, so they disappear. That's why we did it in the first place. Or they divide away, giving you just an x on the left. And on the right, you have 9 divided by 3, which you all know is 3. So the answer is 3. Now, if you want to check it, you just take the 3 for x that we found and stick it in here. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 minus 4 does equal 5, so it is the correct solution. Now, every one of these problems is going to be done the same way. We're going to have some term with a variable, x or y or whatever, and we're going to have some other stuff, and we're going to just move everything to the right and get x or y or whatever it is by itself, usually by multiplication or division at the very last step. So let's take another one. Let's say we have 2/3, and we're going to have fractions involved here, 2/3 minus 8, and that's going to be equal to 0. So again, we have a number, 2/3 times the variable, and we have subtracting 8. So the first thing we want to do is get everything else away, so we only have this on the one side. Since this is subtracting 8, we'll do the opposite to get it by itself. So 2/3 t. If we add 8, that'll just give you 0 on the left. So here we'll have to add 8. So we have to add 8 to the left and to the right-hand side. And so what you're going to get is 2/3 t is equal to 8. Now there's a lot of ways you can proceed here. To get the rest of the answer here. But we want to get t by itself. So it's just a number in front of the t. Just like here there was 3x. Here we have a number in front of the t. It's just that this number is a fraction. So let me rewrite it. 2/3 t is equal to 8. Now your teacher or whoever you work with in class might do it differently. But I'm going to show you this. I want to get rid of this 2/3. So what I'm going to do is do the opposite. Divide by 2/3. So I'll have to divide by 2/3 on the right. The exact same thing we did here. Divide by 3, divide by 3. Divide by 2/3, divide by 2/3. When I do that, 2/3 divided by 2/3, it does the same thing. It cancels and gives you 1 there. So let me continue the solution over here. On the left-hand side, all we have is t. And on the right-hand side, what do we have? We have 8 divided by 2/3. Now, I've been telling you this as we've been doing the fractions, that anytime you divide fractions, like some fraction divided by a fraction or a number divided by a fraction, you just change it to multiplication and flip over the second fraction. So you have 8 divided by this fraction, so what we'll do is we'll change it to multiplication, and then we'll flip the second fraction over to 3/2. So this division now became multiplication. So now this is basically 8 over 1. So what you have is multiply the tops. 8 times 3 is 24 over 2 because 2 times the 1 on the bottom here is 2. And so what is 24 divided by 2 is 12. So the answer is 12. You could have simplified here if you wanted instead, like cancel, make this a 4. 4 times 3 will give you 12. There's lots of ways to do it, but in this case, I just multiplied the tops, multiplied the bottoms, and you get 12. Now, if you want, you can take this 12 and you can stick it back in here and verify that it's correct, but you'll have fractions to deal with and all that. I encourage you to do it yourself, and when you get this, you will find out that when you substitute the 12 in here, you're going to end up with a 0 there. Okay, in fact, let's just do it here. Let's put a 12 here. So if we put 12 here, it'll be 12 over 1. 2 times 12 is 24 on the top. 3 times 1 is 3, so you have 24 over 3. What is 24 over 3? It's 8. So this whole thing becomes 8. Minus 8 gives you 0. So this is the correct answer. So the nice thing about algebra, if you may not like some other parts of it, but the nice thing is you can almost always check your work to know if you're correct. All right, the next equation we have is going to be 5x is equal to 18 plus 2x. All right? So notice in this case, whereas over here, we only had one variable. Here we only had one variable. But this equation has a variable with 5x here and the same variable here. So the goal is we want to get all of the variables on one side and everything else on the other side. That's what we're always doing. So for the first step, let's take this 2x and move it over here. How do we do that? We have to do the opposite of the addition here, which means we're going to subtract 2x from both sides. So on the left, 5x minus 2x is just going to be equal to 18 on the right, because if I subtract 2x here, it just disappears. It goes to 0, leaving you 18. Subtracting 2x from here gives you what I wrote down. Now you can do the subtraction. 5 minus 2 is 3, so it's 3x equals 18. And now you have the same sort of thing that we did before. Let me rewrite it to make it clear. And what are we going to do? We're multiplying by 3. So to get rid of that 3, we're going to divide by 3. We have to do it to both sides. When we do that, 3 divided by 3 gives you 1. And so for the final answer, x will equal, what is 18 divided by 3? 6. And again, you can check it. Stick the 6 in here, stick the 6 in here, simplify both sides, and you'll find that they are exactly equal. All right? Next one. Let's say we have 3, and you can see they're getting slightly more complex, x minus 1 equals negative x minus 5. So you see, we started out with a very simple equation, then we had one with a fraction, then we had one with x's in 2 different locations, and now we have x's in different locations, but also parentheses, and it looks like a hard problem. But it's not a hard problem. What you have to do, though, is you have to use everything you've learned in algebra to simplify everything, get all the x's on one side, all the other numbers on the other side, and go from there. But here we have what's inside of here we can't simplify. What's inside of here we also can't simplify, but we can multiply the 3, distribute it in, and we can, this is a negative 1 out here. This is a negative invisible 1 that can be multiplied as well, distributed in. So 3 times x is what? 3x. 3 times negative 1 is what? Negative 3 plus positive times negative. On the right-hand side, remember, this is a negative 1 times x gives you negative x. This is a negative 1 times negative gives you positive. Negative times negative is positive 5, like this. Make sure that you understand how I distributed in, getting all of this. Now, the next thing you need to do is get the x's on one side, the numbers on the other side. So let's move this x over here. How? It's negative x. So to kill it on the right, we have to do the opposite. We're going to add x. So on the left, it'll be 3x plus x minus 3. I just added the x on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, it gets killed here, and we only have a 5. Because when I add x to the right, it'll just give me a 0. But when I add x to the left, I have to add it here. I haven't done it yet, but that's what I've written down. Now 3x plus another x is what? 4x minus 3 equals 5. Now this equation is basically back to the exact type of equation we had before. So we know we move the number over. How? By doing the opposite. So what we're going to do is 4x is going to be equal to 5 plus 3. Why? Because we add 3 to the left. That kills it, makes it 0. We add 3 to the right. What is that going to give me on the right? 8. Right? But I know, I'm going to rewrite it again to make it absolutely clear, that since this multiplication is happening, to get rid of the 4, I have to divide by 4. And I have to do it on both sides. Because 4 divided by 4 gives you 1. So all you're going to have at the end of the day is x on the left, and 8 divided by 4 is positive 2 on the right. So the answer is 2. All right, and if you were to stick 2 in here, it's very easy to do. 2 minus 1 is 1, times 3 is 3. So 3 on the left. You stick a 2 in here. 2 minus 5 is what? Negative 3. But then negative 3 times this negative out makes it positive 3. So 3 on the right, 3 on the left. When you stick the 2 in, both sides of the equation are the same. That's what an equation is. It means what's on this side is the same as what's on this side. And this is the number that makes that happen when we stick it in and check it. All right. Couple of quick other ones, and they're not really hard. They're just, a little bit more steps involved here. So what if we had 2 times t minus 1 equals t minus 5 plus 3 times t. So again, now we have some t's here, we have some t's here, and we have some t's here. But it's the same thing. We want to collect the t's first. So on the left, let's don't do anything yet. On the right, we have a t, and then we have a 3t. Don't let this negative sign fool you. This negative sign is associated with the 5. That has nothing to do with this. This is a positive t. This is a positive 3t. So when you add them, you get 4t. The minus 5 is still there, so we carry it as a minus 5 like this. All right. Now what do we do? Let's see, where am I at here? Now what do we do? Let's go ahead and take the 4t and move it over here. How? By subtracting 4t. So it'd be 2t, whoops, not 24, 2t. Okay, we're going to subtract 4t, so we'll make it minus 4t. We still have a minus 1 from here. On the right, the 4t disappears, minus 5. Because why? We subtracted 4t. That makes it 0. Subtract 4t there. Now, what is 2 minus 4? You remember how to do that from subtracting numbers. So 2 minus 4 gives you negative 2, but now it's negative 2t because we're subtracting t's. Then we have minus 1, negative 5 on the right, exactly the same. Now we have this isolated and all of the t's are collected in one spot. Now let's take the 1 and move it over. How? By doing the opposite, by adding negative 2t. We'll add 1, making him 0. We'll add 1 here, like this. So in the next step, it's just going to be, what is negative 5 plus 1 is just negative 4. All right. Now to make it explicit, I will recopy the step over. I don't like marking up the equation too much, so I'll rewrite it. How do we get the t by itself? We have to divide, do the opposite. We have to divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. That cancels everything on the left. So what do we have remaining on the left is t. What do we have on the right? What's 4 minus divided by 2 is 2, and negative divided by negative is positive 2. So the answer is t is equal to 2. And I'm not going to go through it, but if you take 2 and you stick it in here and calculate it, if you take 2 and you stick it in here and calculate it, you'll find that both sides of the equal signs are exactly the same. So t is equal to 2. Now let's do this last one. This last one is actually not hard and not long, but it's interesting. So I want to make sure and do one like this for you. So what if you have negative 5 minus x, and on the right-hand side you have x plus 3. Same thing, we want to get all of the x's together. But this is wrapped up inside, and you have this out here. We can't simplify what's inside. So the only thing to do is to distribute this negative in, but don't forget it's like a negative 1. There's like an invisible 1 here. Negative 1 times 5 is negative 5. Negative 1 times negative x gives you positive x, because negative times negative gives you positive. On the right, we're not going to do anything, x plus 3. But now I have something interesting. That's something really interesting, actually. Let's get the x's together. So how do we do that? We move it by subtracting x. So I have negative 5 plus x. Then we're going to subtract this x, so we'll make it negative x equals, we're going to subtract the x here, making it 0 plus 3. So what you end up with is negative 5 plus, well, wait a minute. You have x minus x. This gives you 0. And then we already got the 0 here, so we had the 3. So what we have is negative 5 equals 3. Make sure you understand the math to this point. All I've done is subtracted x, means it drops away from the right-hand side. And when I subtract it from here, it actually ended up dropping on this side. So what ends up happening is I got down to a point, it's totally different looking than any of the other problems. In every other problem, I got down to the point where the variable was on one side and some numbers were here, and I could isolate the variable and get a number answer. But in this case, because of the way it was done, I got down to the point where when I tried to move the variables to one side, they all disappeared. That should never happen, right? It should make you think, whoa, something's really weird here. You think you did something wrong. So you go back and you check and you realize you didn't do anything wrong. So what you're getting is you're saying, this equation is telling you, hey, -5 equals 3. Now let me ask you a question. Is -5 equal to 3? Of course not. It's not equal to 3. They're not equal at all. What this means is this equation is nonsense. There's no solution to this equation. There is no value of x that make this happen, right? So what you put on your paper is no solution. Another way you might see it in your book or your teacher, you might put a 0 here with a slash through it. This means empty set. It means there are no values of x that make this work. That means that you can stare at this all you want and try to stick numbers in here on both sides, of course, because x is the same on both sides, and you will never, ever, ever, ever find a real number that works for this, a real number. Let me put it that way. Positive number or negative number. That's going to go into that equation and work. It's just not going to happen. So if you get down to the point where all your variables drop away and you get a nonsense answer, you say no solution or empty set or no real numbers satisfy this equation. All right, so that's what we have for this lesson. We're going to do a few more lessons to give you extra practice with solving multiple step equations like this. The complexity will get a little bit higher and higher each time, but the same rules will be used. We're not going to throw new things at you, you're just getting practice. So make sure you can do all of these and then follow me on to the next lesson where we'll get some more practice with solving multi-step equations.